Hello. Yeah, this is the course of Introduction to Data Science, and in this video, I would like to continue the Jupyter Notebook. And for this video, I would like to teach you the data types in Python, and you will learn some more new things in this video. Especially, we are going to use one library which is called by NumPy. First, I would like to review a little bit about the data types in Python. In the previous video, you learned some built-in class such as list, tuple, set, dictionary. And let's review a little bit about list. Do you still remember list? Yeah, list is one of the data structure or the data types that mostly used to represent a collection of data elements. In this case, the data elements can be any data type. If you remember a list, okay, L1, let's say I have true. True is a Boolean. Okay, you know, in the computer programming, if you already learned about the programming data type, yeah, Boolean is one of the data type, and it consists of two, true or false. Two with quote. Okay, what does it mean? It refers to string. Okay, it refers to characters. It refers to letters. Yeah, it means you cannot do any mathematical operation. 3.0. So we call this is float or real number, and 4. This is an integer value. And if you want to see the data type in Python, so when you run this, you will see that the first, so by using this type item, it means for every item in L1, let's see the type. So Python can automatically understand the data type. In this case, the true is Boolean, BOL, and the 2 with quote, with double quote is string, and 3.0 is float, and 4 is integer. Yeah. There is another form of data structure called as array, and it we can use the package array in Python, and this can indicate the data collection. Yeah. The array is the same as the data type container, and the unique thing is for the data type with a very specific definition. Let's say I want to create a sequence of number from 1 until 10, and I want to express that the data type is integer. Then I can just call the array import. So this is the way to call the library. Okay, and the library name is array. Okay, the library name is array. And I want to make a list of range 10. You still remember range? If you are still remembered with the for loop, okay, range means I want to make a sequence of numbers from 0 until number 10. So it means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I want to make it into a list. So I just put the number later into a list, and I put it into the variable L. And I want to put that number into an array, and let's make it as integer. So I here is the type of integer. And let's print it. So the result will be an array, okay, and the array is having I indicating the contents are integers, and the values are in the list. Okay, the list is the square bracket with number from 0 until 9. It's much more useful, yeah. However, it's the ND array object of the NumPy package. So when you use array, it just represents only the array. But if you use the NumPy package, is from the Python, it will have more operations. Okay, it will have more operations because the NumPy, they already built many operational functions, and it will create an efficient operation. So especially when you are dealing with the very big data, NumPy is quite efficient. Yeah. So NumPy stands for numerical Python, and it is one of the most useful scientific libraries in Python programming. And if you deal with the very large numbers, I think it's very good because it supports large multi-dimensional array objects, and there are various tools. Arrays are a collection of elements and value, and it can have one or more dimensions. Okay. And I just want to say about if it is one dimension, we call it as a vector. And if it is two dimension, we call it as a matrix. Okay. So NumPy arrays are called with ND array. Okay. What is the ND array? N means the n dimension. So if you have the mind of the computer programming, we have one dimension, we have two dimension, and then we have n dimension. N dimension means the number of dimension can be any numbers. And they store elements of the same type and the same size. What does it mean? If you are using list, you can have Boolean, string, float, integer. So you can mix. But in array, you need to have only one data type. So if you have Anaconda, the NumPy has already been there. So it's a pre-installed library. But if you use Python, and let's say you just install Python and you don't have the NumPy, so you can call the terminal, so you know how to call the Anaconda prompt. So you just put the pip install NumPy, but I guess you don't need to do this one. And I think in the several weeks later, we will do this kind of installation with other packages. Okay? So in this section, we will discuss the details of NumPy. So the contents of this video will be about the NumPy. I guess I will stop until this number 2, and I will continue number 3 and the other number 4 in the other video. Let's deal with the creating arrays. For the first time, if you want to use the NumPy, you need to import, and this is the way to import the NumPy. Just import NumPy as NP. So I think you can just express NP with the other expression like NP1 or something. Okay, but NP is the most common short. S means this is the short. Okay, so if you want to type NumPy, it contains of 5 characters. But if you want to just put 2 characters, then you will need to put this S. Okay. So I will just use NumPy as NP, and then let's suppose I have an array. Okay. I have an array and I want to put the array as a list of numbers. So this is the numbers, and then I want to put it into an array of the NumPy. So I call it NP. NP means from the NumPy, and then dot means the variable that I want to access, and array is the method from the library, the NumPy library, to indicate that this is the array. Okay. So when you run this, then you will get that number, array of integer. So you need to remember that it is unlike the Python list. NumPy is constrained to arrays that all contain the same type. If types do not match, NumPy will upcast if possible. So yeah, in this case, it means the Python will get into the higher data type. So the integer is lower data type, and then the higher one is the float. Let's see. I have an array and then I have a list, and one of the number is a float. The other number 4, 2, and 3 are integers. What happened? Okay, so if you check this one, then the result will be 3.14 and then 4.0. So the numbers are automatically converted into float. If we want to explicitly set the data type of the resulting array, we can use the D type. So the D type, it follows the rule from Python. They already have the data type. Okay, I will show you this one. Yeah, this is the data type that Python has. Boolean with underbar, integer with underbar, integer C. So the number is in some of the ranges. Okay? Integer P, integer 8, integer 16, integer 22, 64. Yeah, those are the integers. Yeah, this is the range of the numbers. Okay? And then integer 64, yeah, this is very huge number of integer. And then there will be UINT, it means the unsigned integer. The number will start from 0. Okay. And then float means the real number. Yeah, there are several kind of float. Float 16, float 32, float 64. It means the number of the decimal and also the precision. Yeah. There might be also another kind of numbers like the complex number. Yeah, so I think you do need to, if you are a mathematician, you may need to do with the complex numbers. And let's suppose I just want to put this integer, you know, this is integer 1, 2, 3, 4, but I want to put it as the float. So I want to consider those number as the float 32. Then you can just express the D type. When you express the D type, then we know 1 is supposed to be integer, but because we define it as the float, then it becomes 1.0. And finally, unlike the Python list, NumPy arrays can explicitly be multi-dimensional. Okay, so it can be multi-dimension in the multi-dimensional arrays. We can have the range. Okay, the range is somehow in between I until I plus 3. What does it mean by I? You can see this I is from the 2, 4, 6. Okay, so the 2, 4, 6 means this a list, and you will check from the I from the index 0. The index 0 will be 0, 2, and then the index 1 will be 4, and the index 2 will be 6. And then I will be from 2 until 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So that means the number will be 2 and 3 and 4. The next, it will be 4. So 4 will be 4 plus 3. So it means 4 until 7. So 4, 5, 6. And what about 6? 6 will be from the 6 until 6 plus 3, which is 9. So we have 6, 7, 8. Then we have 3 multiplied by 3 as the multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, that's the how to create the array in Python. And now there will be other ways to create arrays from scratch. It means if you want to make a default numbers of array, there might be some function like np zeros, np ones, np a range, random, I, and d type. Okay. So several examples as follows. I want to, okay, I think I need to run this one. Yeah, this is the result. So this, the example first is about the zeros. You know zeros, right? Zero means, yeah, zero. I want to create a zero values with 10 numbers. And the type will be integer. So the zero will have 10 elements and it is an integer. The next is I want to create ones. Ones mean I want to create the element as one. So for all items are one, and the data type is float. This indicates the size. The size will be 3.5, 3 multiplied by 5. So I have 3 rows and there are 5 columns. Okay. What about this? A range. Okay. This A range is a kind of array to create a particular value from 0 until 20, and the distance or the interval between the values is 2. Okay. So I want to print 0, and then because the interval is 2, then the next is 2, and the next is 4, and the next is 6, the next is 8, and so on. Okay. The next will be the random. You know, the random is something related with random values, and Python have the uniform distribution. So if I have the 0 until 1, okay, sorry, the random uniform distribution is from 0 until 1, and let's suppose I want to create 3 multiplied by 3. So you just call the np.random and then dash function. This function random means I will use the uniform distribution. So the result will be, yeah, any number. So if you run again, I think it will generate also another number. And if you want to put some values in between the normal distribution, so you need to set 0 and 1. So 0 means the mean or the average, and the 1 is the standard deviation. So it means 0 is the midpoint, and there will be the deviation 1 until -1. Okay. And I want to create 3 multiplied by 3. And if you execute this one, you will have this 3 multiplied by 3, and the numbers are in between 0 and 1. Actually, no, the value will be between -1 until 1, because we have 0 as the mean and then -1 until 1. The next is the random integer. Okay? The random integer means I would like to create a value of integer between 0 until 10, okay, but 10 is not included. It means I will create 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and please put any numbers on 3 multiplied by 3 of array. Then you can get, yeah, this is any number, this random number. If you know a matrix, the matrix can contain only the 1 in the diagonal side, and we call it, this is identity matrix. So you can use np.I in order to create the identity matrix. Now, learning check. Once again, I don't ask you to submit this one, okay? So yeah, just put this one. You don't need to submit this result. So you can try, okay? Because maybe, yeah, next week I will give you some quiz about those items, so you can try with this one. How can you create an array of 3 multiplied by 3 with 0 values? Okay, so you know zeros. And how can you create a 3 multiplied by 3? Okay, you can try. And is it possible to make a 4 by 4 array of random integers in the interval 0 until 6? Okay, try it. Okay, I will go to the next section about the basic of NumPy arrays. In the NumPy, actually, it is the numerical Python is one of the library that can do the data manipulation. And in this data manipulation, it contains a lot of functions such as how to access the data, how to access the subarrays, and how to use some arithmetic functions to calculate the arrays. Some of the categories in the basic array manipulation, we can use these three things, okay? But in the next, I will also explain some other ways to deal with the arrays. Let's do one by one. About the attributes of array. So I want to know if the array contains one dimension, or it is two-dimensional, or it is a three-dimensional. Okay. By using the random generator, you can give a seed. You know the seed. Yeah, in Java and in other programming languages, they also have this kind of seed. So the seed means if I want to produce a random number, your computer and my computer will be also different. Okay, but if I set the seed 0, so the random number in my computer and in your computer will be the same. Okay, so it will generate the same number every time you execute this one. Okay, so I just want to put the seed. Okay, now I import again the NumPy here, and then I use the seed 0. And then I have three variables, x1. I will use the random integer. You still remember what is int? It is a random integer. I would like to create 10 numbers, and let's make the size as 6. Okay. The x2 is also another random integer, and the number is 10, and the size is 3,4. So this is one-dimensional, and this is two-dimensional. And if I want to create three-dimensional, then I can just expand this one into one more items, which is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let me run this. Okay, there is no result, so you need to call. What about the x1? Okay, so the x1 is just a value with 6 elements, and the numbers are random based on the integer value from 0 until 9. Okay. What about x2? X2 is also a number, a random number of integer, and the size is 3 multiplied by 4. So there are 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay. And what about the x3? Yeah, x3 is more complicated. Okay. We have 3 items. Okay, so there we have 3 arrays, and for each array there are 4 columns, 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay, so it's 3-dimensional. If you want to know the dimension and the shape and the size, so you need to express with the endim, shape, and size. It means I know that the dimension is 3. Okay, so there are 3 rows, and the shape, we have the 3 multiplied by 5 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5, and the size are 60. 60 means, yeah, you can just calculate all the numbers. Okay, so those will be 60 numbers. And yeah, if you want to know the type, then you can just call the x3 is the array, and then the t-type. T-type means I want to know what is the type of those numbers. The next is about indexing of array. If you already learned about the array and list, you know how to access the list, how to access the array. So usually you can just use the single number like the square bracket. Okay, so using the square bracket, you can access the array. So I will skip this indexing of array, and I will just focus on the next about the slicing of array, because the indexing array is one that you already learned before, but we will learn more about how to slice the array. So slicing the array means I want to know the elements according to the start, stop, and the step. Okay. So these three are important for you to slice the array or to get the sub-arrays. If there is no specification or if these are unspecified, then the default to those value is start equal to 0, stop equal to the size of dimension, and step equal to 1. Okay, so this is the default value. So let's take a look if we want to do with the one-dimensional subarrays and the multi-dimensional subarrays. Suppose we have NP A range 10. Okay, so you know the A range. So in this case, I want to make a range of array. Okay, and this array will have a value of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How if I want to get the first 5 elements? You know, from the list, just put the colon and 5. So it will create the value from index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. How about if I want to see the element after the index 5? So you can just put 5 colon blank. Blank means it will reach the last element. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What about the middle subarray? So if it is in the middle subarray, it means you just determine the value. Let's say I want to know from 4 until 7. So it will create you 4, 5, 6. And you can do with colon 2. What does it mean? Okay. It means I want to access for every element and the interval will be 2. So the interval means I want to access from 0 until 9 and you jump every 2. And then you jump again another 2. So that's why it's 0 and then 2 and then 4 and then 6 and then 8. What about if I want to do the interval 2 and the starting element is 1? Yeah, that's also possible. So it means you will get the odd number. So the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. So this is the result and this is the result. And there might be some other confusion case about the step. So the step value can be negative. The value step can be negative. And if it is a negative, it means the order is different. Okay. So be careful with this one because it's not easy to understand the negative one. Okay. So the negative one means I want to show the elements from the last element. Okay. Or we call it reverse. So it means from 9 until 0. And if I want to start from element 5 and then minus 2, so it means I want to start from 5 and then down to 3 and then down to 1. Okay, so you will see this one. Now, how about if I have multi-dimensional array? Let's suppose we have the x2. Okay, do you still remember the x2? Yeah, this x2 contains of 3, 5, 2, 4. Okay, there are 3 rows and 4 columns. And now I want to know only 2 rows and 3 columns. So I just want to know from the index 0 and 1. Okay. It means 0 first is the first row and index 1 is the second row. And then the column, it means I just want to know the first and the second and the third column. Then you can see the slice. It shows that 3, 5, 2, 7, 6, 8. Yeah. And what about this x2 with the row until 3 and then the interval is 2. Okay, what is the meaning by interval 2? You know that if we are using the interval 2, then you will do the first the element index 0 and then the index 1 will be skipped and then go to the index 2 and then element index 3 will be skipped. Then we go to index 4. So the same as this one. We want to see all rows, and for a column, just so show the index 0 and then index 2 and then index 4 and so on. In this case, we don't have index 4. Okay, so we have just 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's show the index 0 and index 2. Then the result will be 371287. Okay. Yeah, that's the way to slice with the indexing in the NumPy. And basically, it's also the same if you are doing the slicing in the list. Okay, the next will be about the functions. Functions in the NumPy, there are two kind of functions. The first is unary functions. So the unary function means it will operate on a single input, and the binary function, it will operate on 2 inputs. In this case, I'm just trying to deal with the functions for the arithmetic. Okay, there are many other functions, but let's just focus on the arithmetic and some way to deal with the very simple mathematical operations. Okay, so let's suppose I have this x NP arranged for. You know what is it? Okay, let me just make a new one. Okay, and let me just delete this one. And let's just print. Okay, I have this x equals to np dot a range 4, and the result will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I print x, this will be the result. If I print x plus 5, I want to show the x plus 5. If I print x minus 5, I want to show x minus 5, and so on. What is the result? Okay, you can get that because this is the original value, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I add with 5, every element in the array will be added by 5. Okay. If I minus with 5, every element in the array will be subtract with 5. And the same with the other. Every element will be multiplied by 2. Every element will be divided by 2. And every element will be divided by 2. And it will result a integer value. Okay. It's also the same if you want to use this we call as the unary function or U function for the negation. Negation means the negative. So this is unary function. It affects to only the one input. Yeah. It's also affect only for one input, and this also affect for one input. Okay. So this affect to 2 input plus 5, and this 2 input. Okay, so we call this is the binary, and this is the unary function. So the this is unary function, and this is binary. Okay, and this operator can give you the exponent, and this is the modulus. The same with the previous one. So the result will be the result of the minus x is the minus of the value, and then this is the exponent, and this is the modulus. You can also make a function. Okay. Let's say I want to do the 0.5 multiplied by x plus 1, and then I will give it as a minus and then exponent 2. So the result will be also in an array. Instead of using the mathematical plus, you can use the np.add, like this one. So it means every element in the x will be added by 2. Yeah, of course, you may have some difficulties to remember the unary function like this one. Like this operator plus is the same with the np.add. If you have minus, it's the same with np.subtract, negative, multiply, and so on. So if you want to use the basic arithmetic, then you can just use it. Or if you want to use the U function from the NP, that's also fine. The next is absolute value. There are many other function, but I just want to focus on the important functions like this one. Let's say I have this number x is the -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, and then I would like to make the absolute. Okay, ABS. ABS means absolute. Okay, absolute. So absolute value means you want to get the positive only. So the result will be 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. The next is about the reshaping of arrays. So reshaping means I want to get the value, okay, a value of an array, and I want to reshape it into a kind of multidimensional array. You know, range. Okay, what is the meaning by a range? You want to create numbers. Okay, so a range, it means a sequence number from 1 until 10, let's say, and then I want to rearrange these numbers into a shape 3 multiplied by 3. So 3 multiplied by 3 means, yeah, you know, this, how many numbers of this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there are 9, and then we want to put into 3 multiplied by 3. Yes, it's precise. So the result will be this result 3 multiplied by 3, and yeah, it's just a good result for this one. Now, in my question, can I make this 11? Is it possible? Okay, if I run this, yeah, it goes to error. Why? If you go to 11, then it means you have 10 numbers. But the grid is 3 point multiplied by 3. So it means you need to have only 9 numbers. The remaining one is missing. So it's error. You cannot do over the shape. Okay. Let's suppose I have also another number, a range of 16, and I want to put the 4 multiplied by 4. Then you can just use this one. So the array a range of 16, it will be reshaped 4 multiplied by 4. And the next is about the array concatenation and splitting. Okay. So if we have an array, we can concatenate. So concatenate means combine. Okay. We have 2 arrays and I want to combine into one. Or if I have one single array, I want to split into multiple arrays. Okay. Now let's do one by one. First about the concatenation. So the concatenation means I want to combine. So the combination can be regarded as the concatenate, or we can use V stack, or we can use H stack. So V means vertical and H means horizontal. Let's see one by one. Suppose I have X and Y, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1. And I want to concatenate. So I want to combine the array X and the array Y. Okay, so the result will be 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You also can concatenate more than 2 arrays. So if you already have like this 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, and then you have 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and then you want to combine with 2. Okay, then yes, you can just combine those into one array. Okay. How about if this one also contain like 9, 9, 9, 9? Is it possible? 5 elements of Z, X, and Y only 3. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Okay. What about if we have the 2-dimensional arrays? Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And yeah, I want to combine grid and grid. Okay. Let's suppose to have, okay. Yeah, I want to combine grid, and grid means I want to double. Okay, I want to double those values into one big array. And the array, yeah, let's see, I run this one, and I want to concatenate grid comma grid. So the result will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the same reason, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the other elements will be also the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, using this default array, it will just put the additional array into the next row. Okay. How if I want to put the element into the next column? Okay. So you can just use the same NP concatenate grid comma grid, but you need to use the axis equal to 1. So it means this is the second axis. So by using the second axis, the number 1 to 3, okay, 1 to 3 is the same, but then the other 1 to 3 will be the additional column. And you have 4, 5, 6, and the additional 4, 5, 6 will be in the additional column. So the NP VStack and NP HStack are used to stack all the arrays in vertical and horizontal perspective. Okay, what does it mean? Let's see. Oh, did I run this one? Oh yeah. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3 for the array X, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 of the array Y. Okay. Now I want to VStack. What is the VStack? Yeah, basically it is the same with the concatenate with two variable. Okay, so you want to make it as the vertical. So 1 to 3 it is the X, and then the other Y is the 1 to 3 and 5 6 7. It will be the next one. What about the horizontal? Yeah, the horizontal, if I have 1 2 3 5 6 7, and then the Y I have 1 2 3 9 10 11. So if I would like to do the horizontal stack, okay, this horizontal stack means the you also do the same like what we did before with the axis equals to 1. So this is 1 2 3 from the X, and then this is 1 2 3 from the Y, and then 5 6 7 from the X, and then this is 9 10 11 from the Y. The next, we are going to discuss about splitting of arrays. Okay. In the splitting of arrays, it means I have one single array and I want to split into multiple arrays. And the function, there are three, the same with the concatenation. If we are dealing with concatenation, we have concatenate, vertical split, vertical stack, and horizontal stack. In the split, we have split, vertical split, and horizontal split. Let's see one by one. We have this array 1 5 9 6 4 0 6. Okay. Now I want to split. How can I split? So I want to split into three arrays. Okay. The first array is the array from the index 0, 1, 2. And then I want to split based on the index 3 and the index 5. Okay. So the index 3 is the splitting point, and the next is the index 5 will be the splitting point. So you can see the result is 1 5 9. This is the index 0 1 2. Okay, 0 1 2. And then next is 3 4. Okay, 3 4. And then the index 5 6. Okay, 5 6. If I want to use the vertical split, yeah, let's say. So the vertical split, there is a way to distinguish this one because I know that this is a multi-dimensional array. Okay, this is a multi-dimensional array. So if I want to split vertically 2, 3, so I want to split into the index 2 and index 3. So the first will be the index 0, 1, okay, and the 0 and 1, okay, and then the next will be also the index 3, okay, this is index 3, and the remaining, which is the index 4. Okay. And if I want to use the horizontal split, okay, so let's suppose I have the same 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 11 12, and I want to split horizontally with HSplit, and the index of splitting is 1 and 2. Okay, what happened if you check this one? So the Z5 is I want to split X with regard to the index 1 and 2. So you can see the index 1 index 1 will be the next array. Okay, so this is the array of only index 1, 1, 1, 1. And what about the index? This is the, sorry, it is the index 0, right? So 0 until 1. And then now the next is 1. So it means the index 1 is the 2, 2, 5, 8, and 11. 2, 5, 8, and 11. And then I want to split also in the next one is the index 2. So this is the index 2, 3, 6, 9, and 12. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay. Okay, I will give you only 2 learning check. Okay. So the first is, suppose there is an array with x equal to np dot a range 10. Can you show the first 5 elements? Okay, I think it's not that difficult. Can you show the last 5 elements? Okay, you can try. And suppose there is an array with, oh, it's not seed, but it's with, okay, with np dot range 1, 10. Reshape it to 3.3 grid. So can I reshape to 4 multiplied by 4 grid? Okay, try. And once again, this one you don't need to submit it. You just need to practice how can you solve this one, and maybe you can also practice with the split and the concatenate. Okay, I guess that's all for this video. I will continue the remaining videos in I mean I will continue with the remaining materials in another video. So thank you for listening and see you.